Well, Iran, meanwhile, is stepping up its efforts to try to limit Israel's widely anticipated response to its missile attack on October 1st. The Iranian foreign minister has visited Saudi Arabia and Qatar in recent days. He's now in Iraq, while the Iranian Speaker of Parliament is in Beirut today. We're joined by Behnam Ben Taleblu. He's a senior fellow at the Foundation for the Defence of Democracy. It's good to see you, Behnam. So a diplomatic blitz by Iran in recent days. It's trying to rally the region in anticipation of that Israeli strike. How much success would you say that they've been having?
Well, it's a pleasure to be with you. The style here, in my view, has a substance of its own, meaning the fact that these Iranian officials are traveling, are seen, and are meeting either with neutral countries or with U.S. partners is designed to help, bolster the regime's deterrence, as well as test the walls or the boundaries or the thresholds of what the U.S. and Israel can tolerate in the period of peace between these two exchanges. Peace is a word you wouldn't necessarily apply to what's going on in the rest of the region, though. So the Iranians are trying to generate deterrent dividends from being seen as not being afraid. This is also what they're trying to do in their domestic media space at the moment to complement these multiple foreign trips. Also worth noting that Iran's president met for the first time ever Russian President Vladimir Putin on the sidelines of a meeting in Turkmenistan, and is slated to meet him later at the end of this month at a BRICS conference in Kazan, Russia.
Right, and just a few hours ago, the Iranian foreign minister, or an account associated with him anyway, put out a warning to the United States saying, do not deploy that THAAD missile system to Israel because you will be putting American soldiers at risk. We will also consider them to be a target. I mean, how do you think that they will be responding to the fact that the US has just completely ignored that warning?
Well, the U.S. absolutely should completely ignore that warning. It's worth also noting that semi-official press and hardline press affiliated with the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps have made much of that THAAD deployment, particularly within Tasnim news agency just a few hours ago, trying to say how Iranian allegedly, but not exclusively, hypersonic missiles can maneuver around it and strike at least the radar or the battery. This, in my view, is largely denial and deception. I think it means that they're afraid of how much further their projectiles could be devalued if that is in the region. If that is actually in Israel. We know it's in the region. In fact, that had a successful intercept of the Iranian ballistic missile in the hands of the Houthis in January, February 2022 in the UAE. So the successful record of this projectile, plus, of course, the fact that the U.S. is publicly being seen as bridging the gap between it and Israel, are things that the regime is afraid of, hence the private and public entreaties to not send this important air and missile defense system.
Meanwhile, they've sent a senior official to Beirut, the Speaker of Parliament. He's been touring kind of areas of Beirut that were hit by Israeli airstrikes. Is there anything that Tehran can do to help its most valuable proxy, Hezbollah, which has been decimated in the past few weeks?
In the medium to long term, militarily, yes. It's the fact that there's a belt of states across the region, Iraq and Syria, that allow the regime basically laissez-passer to exploit, to transfer men, money, and munitions across the heartland of the region into the Eastern Mediterranean. That's the long-term resupply that the Islamic Republic can do and really has done since the last major Lebanon war, which was in 2006. But in the short term, all they can really do is political. And that's why America bridging the gap, setting this critical piece of air and missile defense architecture to Israel would be seen as not allowing the regime to prey on the American desire for de-escalation over deterrence. I think the Iranian strongest card right here is not military, it's political. It's what the outgoing Biden administration may do before and after the election, as well as, of course, how Israel may try to take advantage of that situation both before and after the election. So it's politics, not military tools, that Tehran is going to be looking to exploit to bail out its most successful proxy in the short term.
Behnam Ben Taleblu, thank you very much.
Thank you.